Landry, you played on some really good teams with stars and some quality rosters. What was it like, especially given the times that we're in, to step on that practice court with KD, Kyrie, and the rest of your teammates with the goal that you have at hand?
Yeah, no, it's great. You definitely, I've learned early on in my career. It's only year three, but not to take things for granted. And like you said, I've been fortunate to play with some good players, and these two are the next two, and a lot of respect for both of them. Very smart guys. Both guys love basketball. I learned about that, all off season. When I was seeing them and we were in the same gym and stuff, you could just tell they love basketball, love what they do. So it's exciting. They're smart, easy to play with, easy to pick up on, and I'm excited to continue to grow and learn them and the rest of my teammates.
Brian Lewis, New York Post.
Hey, Landry. Obviously, you've been fortunate and played with some pretty good players in your short time in the league already. A lot's been made about kind of the vibe in the Clipper locker room and so forth. Without getting into too much what happened over there, I'm curious how important, I guess, it's going to be going forward that the stars here, KD, Kyrie, vibe appropriately, I guess, with the whole rest of the roster, and that there's not that kind of disconnect that we hear about.
Yeah, well, that's one thing from the outside looking in. It's easy to point at, the stars and why the chemistry is not right or whatever. It's easy to do that. Obviously being in LA, we saw that all year. But it's from top to bottom. Everybody in the locker room has to have some accountability and the chemistry and the vibe in the locker room. It's not just Kyrie and KD's responsibility for that. It's mine, it's DeAndre's, it's Joe's, it's everybody's. But I think with this team, everybody kind of coming in already is on the same page. It's been made very clear what our goal is. And, just after the first day of us all being together, you just feel it. It's chemistry, and that vibe that you're talking about is all the feel. And, it feels really good here. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to contribute in any way I can, in terms of the vibe and chemistry. I think I'm a good teammate. I know my teammates respect me and what I bring and my energy. So it's a collective responsibility, not just Kevin and Kyrie.
We'll go to Greg Logan, Newsday.
Hi, Landry. I talked to Joe and Joe Harris and asked him about the impact that he thinks Kevin and Kyrie will put on defenses with the pressure that they generate and what that will mean for perimeter players like yourself. And he said you guys didn't necessarily break it up first and second team today, but did you see enough today to kind of get a sense for the opportunities that those two stars are going to create for everybody else?
Yeah, of course. And not only it's not, as much what they just create for me, but what I can do to help make their lives easier. If I'm flying off of an action and bringing attention to myself and get one of them an open look or lane to the rim, then so be it. So there's a lot of things we've still yet to explore, but we're, obviously looking into them and learning about one another, like I said. But it definitely does make your life a lot easier when you're playing with a guy like, Kevin, who's got all 5 pairs of eyeballs on him from the other team every possession, and Kyrie the same thing. Great passers, smart guys, like I said, willing passers, and they play the right way. So we definitely benefit a lot, but I want to help make their life easier too.
Tom Dowd, BrooklynNets.com.
Hey, Landry, with this kind of, tighter schedule on camp, do you have a sense that, there could be a different approach to how things are done? And is that something you guys have talked about, and also expectations about how you guys develop over the next couple of weeks?
Well, yeah, I think there does have to be an adaptation there. Everybody's going to have to adjust and have a different approach to this kind of shortened camp and everything. So But we're doing what we think's best and how we want to approach it, and we're focused on us and what we can do to come together and start gelling collectively as soon as possible. From a film perspective, in the locker room, on the floor, how we play, all those things. So it's definitely different. And I'm only year 3, so I've haven't seen as many off seasons and training camps, but I think we're doing a really good job and have great leadership leading us in the right direction.
Go to Matt Brooks with Nets Daily.
Hey, Landry. Steve Nash mentioned defense is a big thing for you guys this year, and Joe Harris as well mentioned that pressure was a big part of practice today. Where did you fit into that today, and do you have any indication of where you're going to be in that defense?
We're all, where the league's going. I mean, I'll be everywhere. I'll be in switches. I'll be guarding, mismatches. I'll be off the ball and help. I'll be on the ball guarding pick and rolls. I think that's something you have to be able to do in this league, to be a versatile defender, be smart in whatever position you're in. So that's one thing, that we've all talked about, and Steve's made a really, really big emphasis on is on defense, and a couple of kind of nuances and changes that I haven't seen before that are exciting just because they are outside the box and a little forward thinking. So we're learning, like I said, and moving in the right direction.
Christian Winfield, New York Daily News.
Hey, Landry. I'm kind of piggybacking off of an earlier question, but, as a shooter, how do you go about, the process of getting guys to understand where it is that you like the ball most, and where are those spots on the floor that you feel like you can hit at a higher rate than other spots? But more importantly, how long does it take to build that type of rapport with a guy like Kyrie or a guy like KD or any point guard to where they know, okay, well, if I'm pushing the ball up the floor, Landry might be trailing and he wants to hit that 3 in transition, or if I'm cutting to the rim, Landry's going to be in the corner. And is that something that you talk about with Steve? So that he can draw that into the players? Like, how do you go about finding your spots on the floor and making sure everybody knows where you like?
A lot of it just feel, honestly, just again, getting to know one another. And there was some, mishaps, like miscommunications early on, naturally, like across the board. We turned the ball over a few times in practice, but that's going to happen. I mean, this is a new team coming together, new guys trying to figure each other out. If I get the ball in space anywhere, I feel really good about it. That's just me. And there's obviously certain actions that I like and that, hopefully I'll get, be able to put in that position to, make shots in certain spots. And we've been exploring all of those. But again, not even about me shooting shots. I want to be utilized as a weapon and come off and be able to get other guys looks too. So, it's just really a matter of getting to know each other, being unselfish and playing the right way, and we'll figure it out from there.
Malika Andrews, ESPN.
Landry, speaking of kind of a bunch of new guys, is it since this is the first time you guys have all been together, a first day of summer camp vibe where you have some sort of icebreakers and getting to know you, or is it just, hey, we all know each other, we've been around each other the last 3 years playing against each other, get out on the court and play now?
Most guys, know each other just, throughout their time in the league. Obviously, in the locker room, though, that was one of the first things I noticed, how easy it was just to kind of talk to some guys. I felt very welcome from the minute I stepped in here. And you can kind of see that across the board. Everybody seems to have a good rapport with everyone. No real icebreakers or anything like that, but just kind of right into it. And then getting to know each other on the court as well. So,
Alex Schiffer, The Athletic.
Hey, Landry, I'm curious. I know it's only one practice, but what's Steve's practice demeanor like as a coach? Is he fiery and intense? Is he, more calm and laid back? And on a lighter note, now that you've done this twice, do you have the cross-country move down pat now, or this time around calls its own new set of challenges from the first time?
Yeah, well, with COVID and, the state of New York's apartment, market and all that, it's a little bit different. So the move has been, we're hoping we're towards the tail end of it and can get settled in an apartment soon. But in regards to Steve, his presence, he's kind of, he's laid back. He's not fiery and going crazy like, you might paint the picture of some coaches, but intense and pointed with, the things that he does say. He's not like quiet and timid and shy or whatever, but he doesn't say a ton, but he says what he has to say, and we listen, and it's coming from the right place. And he's just trying to coach us and lead us and guide us in the right direction. He made it a point early on that, they're going to give us the framework and we have to paint inside of that framework. So a lot of freedom. I think a lot of him even learning us and figuring out what's going to work with this unit, this group. He's learning us just like we're learning him and each other.
Brian Lewis, New York Post.
Hey, Landry, I was just curious what some of those, you've got a few years in the league now in. What are some of those wrinkles that we're going to look forward to see defensively? Some of those nuances, some stuff that you hadn't really seen yet?
Just a couple of changes in principles, just kind of foundational groundwork of our defense. Obviously, a night-to-night basis, game plan is going to change. We're going to play certain guys differently, but just our principles, our backbone. Across the board, the NBA is a very kind of copycat league, and you do a lot of the same things from team to team. And this is the first, coaching staff and team I've been a part of that kind of it has a different feel to it, and they've said it too, that they know it's different too. So I can get into like specifics and give the whole thing out there, but just a couple of different nuances here and there that are different for everybody and kind of new.
Last question. We'll go to Christian Winfield, New York Daily News.
Hey, just what's like the energy in a day like of training camp like this? Joe said DeAndre was out there cracking jokes, and then Steve said everybody was kind of locked in. What's the energy? What's the vibe like, and how are guys getting together out there?
Well, everybody has their own different approach. DJ, he does crack jokes. He likes to mess with guys and stuff. That's what I've picked up on already. And then, there's some guys who are a little more quiet. Me, I'm kind of just about my business, quiet. I don't really talk a ton unless we're in the game and I'm talking to my teammates about what we're doing or talking on the floor. But, we have a good energy, good spirit where, guys are focused and locked in, and everybody kind of handles and goes about that differently. Like DJ's, it's not that he's not locked in. He's, joking, and that's how some guys get going. That's what some guys do. They can do that, and other guys not so much. So across the board, coaches, players, everybody, staff, very locked in, very excited too. There's definitely a buzz that you feel, and just an excitement to be in the gym with everybody.